for this lecture. Here we go. Okay, decision making. For decision making, there's some important things that I want to remind you, which are the relative costs that we have to consider. First is the relevant cost, which will be the cost and the revenue that's different for each alternative. And the next thing is the cost and the revenue that's going to happen in the future. That's related to the relevant cost. Now, the opportunity cost, as I already said in the classroom, is the cost that you don't have to pay, but you have to consider because that will be the cost that you're gonna, or the revenue that you're gonna give up if something else is happening. If you choose to do something else, you're not doing the first thing in the first place. So then you have to be considered that loss of revenue or additional cost. And the sunk cost is the one that never is considered. The sunk cost is the cost that already happened. It's a past cost, so there's nothing you need to do about it. Now, the first decisions that you have to make is there's different decisions, but first decisions on the incremental analysis is to accept order at a special price. Second type of decision is to make it versus buy a product or finished good. Then the next decision is to sell the product as it is or process it further. The fourth decision is to keep the product or to keep the equipment or replace it with a new one. Fifth one is to eliminate or keep the unprofitable business segment. And the last one is to allocate the limited resources. So in the classroom, we cover accept the order at special price, make or buy component or finished product, sell product or process further, and retain or replace equipment. Those four we already covered in the classroom. Today we're going to focus mostly on the last two. Just to wrap it up for those four. Now, the decision criteria for accept or the order at special price is, as long as the special order provide a contribution margin which is positive, you can accept it. Again, as long as the contribution margin is positive, you should accept the order. That's purely on the qualitative side of the evaluation of the problem. And also this problem here with the incremental analysis and how to come up with the idea, are we getting money or not? Second decision was to make it or to buy. Now the decision here is outsource only and only if the total cost savings is more than the money that you have to pay for that product, which is purchased from outside. So as long as it's cheaper for you to produce it, don't make it, don't buy it. Or on the other hand, if you pay less than what cost you to make it, go for it. And we saw the example here. And don't forget the opportunity cost. Because when you decide not to do something but outsource it, always opens opportunity you to generate extra income or extra revenue. If that extra revenue is not available, then that changes the entire picture. But if the extra revenue is available, then you have to consider it. And you might, looks like you're losing a little bit when you outsource the production. But if you use the free capacity to generate extra revenue, that can help you and that can change the entire perspective of your decision. Now, to sell or to process further, decision criteria is you processing further only and only when the incremental revenue is more the incremental processing cost. So you're comparing the point of what you can make the way it is versus if I process it further. Additional revenue that you're making has to cover the additional cost to convert it into the new condition. As long as additional revenue is more than additional cost, go for it, process it further. If the additional cost is more than additional revenue, then it doesn't make sense. That's for sell and process it further. And the next one that we covered in the class was the replace equipment or keep the old one, or the old one. So we're gonna replace this asset only and only if the net asset increasing the net income or the savings that the new asset is going to generate is more than the cost of the asset. Obviously, this is a very complex decision and a lot of things has to be considered for simplicity for this course. And for this incremental analysis in this chapter, we're going to ignore all the additional factors that should be considered and this decision, since this is a long-term decision and doesn't cover only the current period, it goes beyond 1 year. So those are the time value of the money first. Second is the capital cost allowance, which is something that we never talk about it. That will be the allowable expense for the tax purposes on the long-term assets. And the last one is the income tax effect. But those are not discussed. Those are beyond the scope of this chapter. We're gonna see something, I believe, in the next chapter, maybe. Next one is to retain or replace equipment. So the replace one thing that you should be aware of is the book value, which is the original cost, which is obviously sunk cost. So we don't even consider that one in our decision since it's not relevant. The salvage value is something that we have to consider. The salvage value is the money that we can generate from selling or disposing the old asset, and useful life, obviously, which over the useful life we can generate savings from using the new asset. And we have this example here with the machinery, which replacing the new machinery, which decreasing the variable manufacturing cost with $35,000 over 4 years. Now the question is that saving that we can generate plus the salvage value of the old machine is going to be more over 4 years, going to be more than the cost that we have to pay today for the new machine. And turn out that the decision criteria here is made now even in Wiley questions, you're going to see this type of this way they to do the analysis. First, you're doing scenario, if I keep the machine, what's going to happen? If I don't replace it. In don't replace it scenario, you have to pay $160 per year. Over 4 years, that's $640,000. $640,000. Now, if you replace it, you have to pay only $125 per year, which is over 4 years, that's $50,000. Plus, you have to pay for the new machine. That's on top of the variable cost, the cost of the new machine that you have to pay today. And the last thing that we have to consider is the salvage value of the old machine in this scenario if I replace the old machine. So I can get $5,000 from the old machine. So my net cost if I replace it is going to be 615. So now I'm comparing current situation versus the new situation. So in the current situation, if I stay in the current situation, my expense is going to be that will generate more expenses. The new cost of the machine, sale of the machine. So my net effect will be $25,000 increase in the income. Increase again is going to come with the $140,000 savings on the new machine. 120,000 is the cost that will reduce that saving. $5,000 going to increase, going to add to this equation because it's the money that we're going to get for the old machine. So in total, we're going to increase our income with $25,000. So here the decision is just replace it based on the purely calculation part and building the financial data that we have here. I believe we did this question in the class, but let's do it again.
A पर
What was
पासा
the salvage value?
Option A.
What would be that? A, B, C, or D?
Professor A.
A? Yes, it is A. It's a relevant cost. It's not opportunity cost. It's actually a relevant cost. So the next decision is sitting or eliminate or keep unprofitable product. Let's make it a little bit bigger so you can see it. Management, sometimes you have to make a decision when you make a discovery. Should I discontinue a product or product line or segment on the entire division, or should I cut the customer? Now, obviously, decision criteria will be as long as you improve the overall picture, yes, go for it. Means that if dropping by the product, you see increase in the net income, you should drop the product. So here in this case, you have to consider two types of cost. Costs which are avoidable and costs which are unavoidable. And more specifically, obviously, variable cost always going to be avoidable cost because once we stop producing something, the variable cost will disappear. The question is there anything from the fixed cost that we can also save? That's where the key point here will be in this decision. Is there anything from the fixed cost that we can save by dropping segment or stopping a client? And then we're coming to the point of what of the fixed cost is avoidable, what of the fixed cost is unavoidable. So fixed cost again, it's the one that drive this decision mostly, because fixed cost can be allocated on the unprofitable line in order to be observed. So sometimes when the people prepare reports, they try to allocate all the costs, regardless if the cost is actually used by the product or not. So for that reason, net income may decrease when the unprofitable product and line is eliminated, just because the fixed cost was inappropriate allocated to that line. Again, decision criteria will here retain in the product line or segment. Keep that product line or segment unless the saved or eliminated fixed costs are more than the loss of contribution margin. Now, here we're going to very interesting point. As you remember, from the cost-benefit analysis, that's why we did last time cost-benefit analysis. If you remember, how was exactly was the calculation? We have sales price and we have a variable cost. And once we eliminate the sales price from the sales price, we eliminate the variable cost. We having our contribution margin. Let me refresh your memory here. So we have sales and we have a variable cost. Once we eliminate variable cost from the sales, that gives us contribution margin. After that, we have a fixed cost. And after the fixed cost, we have the operating income. So again, for dropping division, segment, or product is, the decision criteria is this. So imagine this, if my sales price is $100, my variable cost is 20, obviously my contribution margin will be $80. If my fixed costs are $60, should I eliminate this product?
Yes.
Obviously, no. Why? Because this product produces income of $20. But if I have a same scenario, however, my fixed costs now are $120 or even $100. Should I eliminate this product?
Yes. Yes.
Yes. So in this case, why I'm keeping the product? Because my contribution margin is more than the fixed cost. That's why I'm keeping this product. This product I'm eliminating is because my contribution margin is less than the fixed cost. Make sense?
Yes, Professor.
Okay. So for that reason, let's go back to the slides. The decision criteria again lies, you keep the product unless the saved or eliminated fixed costs are greater than the loss contribution margin. So let's go back to the Excel spreadsheet and interpret this. If I eliminate this product, what I can save, what I'm losing. If I eliminate this product, I can save $60. Make sense?
Yes, Professor.
But I'm gonna lose $80 contribution margin. So I know what I'm gonna use $20. But in this case, if I stop this product, I'm gonna save $100. I don't have to pay those $100 anymore if I stop this. But I'm gonna lose $80 from the contribution margin that this product produces. So in overall, my saving on the fixed cost is less. Is actually saving on the fixed cost is more is less. What will be that?
Contribution margin.
Contribution margin, yes. Contribution margin lost is less than the actually, yes, it's
Cost.
less than the fixed cost. So now this decision criteria makes sense. So as long as save eliminate cost us more than the loss of the contribution margin, go for it. Let's see this example here. Now we have those three product lines, which is Pro, Master, and Champ. As you can see, all of them making money except the last one. The champ losing $20,000. If you look close, that's champ making $10,000 contribution margin. But after that, we have a fixed cost, which fixed costs are more greater than the contribution margin. Now the question is, shall we drop this champ product line? Before we jump to a conclusion, we need a little bit more information. And that will be information based on the simple calculation. If we drop this, guys, what's going to happen overall? If we see increase in the income, yes, we should drop it. But if we see decrease in the income, no, we should not drop it. So, with no fixed cost savings, the other thing that says here is the actual fixed cost will not change if the unprofitable line is dropped. What that means is the actual fixed cost in this case is $160,000. Can you see it?
Yes.
So this line here says that if we drop this division, that $160 is not going to change. It's still going to be there. So if that stays and we eliminate in champ, first with our sales is going to stay only 110,000, $1,100,000, not $1,200,000. Then my variable cost is going to be $730, not 820. Then my contribution margin, only the contribution margin from those two products, only from those two products, which is the Pro and the Master, that 370. Now my fixed cost is going to stay 160. They're not going to change. So technically, I'm going to see a reduction in my income with $10,000. So for that reason, dropping that division, which looks unprofitable, is not going to be the wise decision. Again, why? Because we cannot change the fixed cost. So for that reason, even if it looks like we're losing money, we're not actually losing money here. We're making $10,000 from the contribution margin of this product, which adding to the overall income of the company. Because if you drop that division, our income is going to go down with $10,000. So we're going to lose $10,000. Looks like a wise decision, but in fact, it's not a wise decision. In other words, if we have to do the incremental analysis, if we continue working with champ, our contribution margin again is $10,000, fixed cost is $30,000, so we're losing $20,000. But if we eliminate it, we're gonna lose the sales. Sales are gone. Variable cost gone. Contribution margin gone. But the fixed cost gonna stay. Right. So if the fixed cost stays, then we try to figure out income, increase or decrease. Obviously, that will be loss of $100,000, saving of 90,000, or you know what we're gonna save? We're gonna lose, sorry, $100,000 lost, $90,000 saving, so we're losing $10,000. Fixed cost, there's no change in the fixed cost. So in overall, we're gonna lose $10,000. So for that reason, don't eliminate it. Keep it. Let's see how you're gonna respond to this question.
Maybe Professor B.
And
Maybe.
maybe you're right, or you're right. Which one is it?
Professor B.
It's B. Okay, it is B. So now here the wandering should be between B and D. Between B and D in terms of what I did. In terms of the fixed cost, right? Then we're talking about the fixed cost. D is to some extent, as long as it says fixed cost, are they relevant or not relevant? That word never relevant make it incorrect. So the fixed cost is not always irrelevant. Sometimes you have to consider it only to the extent how much of the fixed cost I can save. So in this case, the fixed cost, since those are unavoidable, they shouldn't be considered. But if they're avoidable, then we can consider. Let's do one question here. I'm gonna copy the question, I'm gonna move it to Excel spreadsheet so we can do it together. Just a second, I'm gonna share my screen. Give me a second. Let me copy the question too. Yeah, I have everything that I needed. Now let's go and solve this problem. Okay, so this company manufacturing sells two items, product A and product B. We can see those products clearly, what they're producing and what they're selling. Okay, the company is considering dropping product B. They want to see what's going to happen if they drop. Now, it's expected that the sales of product A is going to increase by 30% as a result. And if the product B is dropped, fixed cost of $2,000 will be avoided. This is the income statement with the both products. So what will be the impact of this company operating income if we do this? So now there are two options here to do it. There are two options. First option is get that all the information, eliminate that one, see what's happened. Because at the end of the day, don't forget, this one is total, which means that is this one plus that one. And if I run that calculation all the way to the bottom, it's going to give me those numbers, right? No, that one, no what, this one, this. want this one to be like this. I want this one to be like this. So the question is, if I drop this one, what's going to happen? If nothing change, obviously I'm going to lose $100. That's clearly. But I expect 30% increase in sales. So how much will be the 30% increase in sales? That will be this one times 0.3, correct? One 0.3. So my sales will increase with $3,000. And if the product B is dropped, the fixed cost will be avoided, 2,000 of the fixed cost. So currently I'm paying 6,000. So this is not entirely correct because my total fixed cost should be 6,000. Right? But from those 6,000, I can save only 2,000. So what's happened with my income? Here, 13,000, 4,000. Is that a calculation? That's not a calculation now. Now we have to do the new calculation on the contribution margin. That will be this one minus this and minus that. It's going to give us contribution margin, fixed cost is fixed cost, and then we're going to have this one minus that one. That will be more accurate on the formulas. But we don't have that as an answer, do we? Expected sales of product A will increase with 30% of the results. If the product B, the fixed cost will be avoided. So from 2,000, 4,700, there will be only 2,000. 2,000 are avoided. This one is gone, this one is gone, this one is gone, this one is gone. Right, everything gone. This one go with 3,000 more. So now we have 13,000 here. 2,500. 2,000 here, that's 8,500. Minus 4,000, that's 4,500. Let me see what I'm not considering here. Yes, the only thing that I'm not considering is increase in sales, not increase in the sales revenue. Make sense? Are you guys with me?
Yes, Professor.
Yes,
Makes sense.
So what's
Professor.
going to happen? Sales going to increase with 30%, but also the variable cost going to increase with 30%, correct?
Yes.
So let's do that. Let's increase those costs with 30%. So my contribution margin from 10,300 with the two products is going to drop down with 7,150. I'm going to save the $2,000, but overall my income is going to be 3,150. What's the difference here? That's the only tricky part of this question. This type of question. You have to read the information carefully to understand what actually happens. Because here again, the sales increase with 30%, but the sales of the products, not the sales itself, not the sales revenue. Means that increase in 30% with sales, that's going to drive the variable cost as well. This is one common mistake that we all doing, including myself as yourself. So be careful with this type of questions and read the question carefully. What exactly increasing and what exactly decreasing? Make sense?
Yes, Professor.
Okay, let's go back to the slides. So in this case, the correct answer will be D. If that happened, as with product A, with product B, we're gonna generate $4,300. Without product, with product B, sorry, without product B, we're gonna generate $4,300. Without product B, we can increase the contribution margin, means sales gonna increase with 30%, direct material is gonna increase with 30%, direct labor is gonna increase with 30%. So that's 5,500 is gonna increase with 30%, but we can save only $2,000 of those $6,000. And our income is gonna be lower with $1,150 as we said. The last decision that we have to do is to allocate, to know what to do when we have a limited resources. Obviously, in life, everything is limited. The only limited resource that we have in our life is time. Everything else is unlimited. But for the purpose of this chapter here, we're going to go with the all input resources are limited, and we consider everything is limited in the company operation, which is the space of the that we're renting, or the materials that we're using, or direct labor hours that we have available, or capacity of the machine that we're using. So management must decide which product to make and sell to maximize the income when we have limited resources. So with the limited resources, we're going to focus on those one which maximizing the company contribution margin within the limited resource. So what we're going to do, we're going to choose the product or product combination that give us the maximum possible net income within the limits that we have. So let's do one example and see how we're going to deal with this type of problem. So here we're producing two different phones. One is the standard, one is the deluxe. The problem is that we have a limited resource, which we have only 3,600 machine hours per month. We have the contribution margin per unit, and we have the hours that each case is required to be produced. So how can we maximize our net income with those two products? Obviously, we need to have a demand, right? Obviously, we have the demand. and to see, because our limitation is hours. And then we have to see, is that resource that we have is enough to cover our demand? If the resource that we have is enough to cover demand, we're just producing our demand. But if it's not, then we have to focus on the product which are give us the highest contribution margin within the constraint, because now that this machine hours is going to be our constraint. So what I'm going to do is going to flip this one on the Excel spreadsheet, because we have to do some thinking here. And once we're done, we can go back to the slides. So again, the limited resource is the machine hours per month. I'm going to stop sharing this, and I'm going to share this Excel spreadsheet. So watch this. Logically, if my contribution margin for the first product is $8 and the second product is $6, which product should I focus on? Forget everything else. Based on the only and only contribution margin per unit, on which product I should focus?
$8.
Deluxe case, right? That would be the logical choice. Why? Because the deluxe case give me more contribution margin. It gave me $8 per unit. So if I have limited hours, I should focus most of my hours on the deluxe and whatever left on the standard case. That's if I don't have any other information. But unfortunately, we do have another information. What is that? We have machine hours which are required to produce 1 unit. So now the question is, if the machine hours is our limitation, how much will be my contribution margin per 1 hour? Which product is going to give me the highest contribution margin per hour? Make sense? That's why you should focus. The question is how we're going to calculate contribution margin per hour now. Who's going to help me here?
We have to calculate how many items of each one we can do per hour.
Okay. Case per hour. How many cases per hour we can make from the first one?
Contribution margin divided by the machine.
Sorry?
Contribution margin
Yes.
divided by machine hour.
Machine hours.
Yes.
So, but that will be contribution margin per hour, correct?
Yes.
So it's not going to be case per hour. That will be the contribution margin per hour. So for the deluxe, we can generate $20 per hour, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
For the standard, we can generate
30.
$30 per hour. So on which product we should focus?
On the standard case.
On the
Standard
standard.
case.
Why? Because give us more contribution per hour margin. For one, because hours is our limited resource. For every hour that we work, we can generate $30. So we should focus on the standard cases rather than the deluxe. Once we satisfy the demand on the standard case, then we can flip on the deluxe. Make sense?
Yes, Professor.
Okay. Let's go back to slides. Let me find the slides. They should be somewhere. I cannot find them. Here we go. So again, which product should this company focus to maximize their net income? Obviously, on the contribution margin for the limited resource that they have, which is ours. Get the contribution margin per unit for the limited resource. And you can make a few decisions that start doing those standard cases first. Once you satisfy demand, move to the deluxe. And that's in that scenario, in only that scenario, you can maximize your income. Now, the short-term decisions, obviously, the short-term decisions focus on the product or product that have the great contribution margin within the limited resource. For the longer term, well, we have to think, can this constraint that we have can be eliminated? One of the options will be to change the contribution margin per unit of the limited resource or to remove the limitation of the resource. Now, if we increase the machinery capacity from 3,600 hours to 4,200 hours, even though decision is the same, we can still maximize our income here. Still, the standard's going to give us more, but now we have the capacity to produce more of both. That's not very good example, isn't it? I don't like this example within these slides because this example doesn't give us a real picture of what exactly happening if we increase or if we eliminate the constraint. The only thing when we eliminate the whole idea is on the long term we try to eliminate constraint in order to get to the whole point is you to maximize the income. You as a manager, your goal is only one, and you as the owner of the company, increase the income. That's all. And then you have to find the solution, which in the different choices and different decisions that you have to make from all those, if the decision lies on all those 5 decisions, which are, what were the 5 decisions here? Let me find them, the 5 decisions, so I can go back to the 5 decisions for the 6 decisions. If those are the decisions that you have to make, your only objective is to reduce to increase the income. The question is how. And under each decisions, you have the decision criteria. Once you know the decision criteria, then you know what to do. The other thing that you need to know is how the costs behave, and you always remember that as long as the contribution margin is more than the fixed cost, you're safe. You're increasing the income. After that, how exactly it's going to be? Is it going to come, is the income going to come from savings, or is it going to come with the increase in the contribution margin? That depends on the decision. Here, when we changing the constraint, even though increasing the hours, still our product, most profitable product is remain to be the standard case, because generating more contribution margin per hour. So for the incremental analysis theory is the approach is used to identify and manage the constraints in order to achieve our goal. What was the goal? To increase the operating income. So what we have to do, we have to find the constraint. And we have to always try to eliminate the constraint. Let's see this question and how you're going to respond to this question.
Professor C. Because they shown in the 72 slides.
Right. The highest contribution margin per the limited resource. That's exactly what we have to focus on. Let's do one question then. So having in mind the answer from here, what do we have to calculate?
It's C 3.40.
So how
That's
much
the
is my
contribution
contribution margin here? Can you easily tell
3.4.
me how much is the contribution margin?
9.6 minus
3.40.
9.60, 60 minus 6.20, which is 3.40. Is that the number that I should consider?
Yes.
We calculate the contribution margin per machine hour.
Okay, machine hours. So what we chasing here? How much
And
will be the
divided by
contribution
4.
margin per hour, right?
Yes.
So how much is the contribution margin per hour then?
3.4
Point-
divided by 4.
0.85.
0.85. A is correct.
So that will be 3.40
40
divided by
divided by 4.
8, by $4.
4.
And how much you getting?
0.85.
0.85. So on which number the management should focus? On 340 or 0.85?
0.85.
Why? Because we assuming that the time is our constraint. When it comes to the limited production. Make sense?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so that's our logical answer here. You're getting the contribution margin within the constraint, and then you answering the question. That was the slides. So now, where are we going from here? I'm gonna stop this sharing. The question is, this company has a factory machine with a book value $157,000. So here the information is, split this a little bit down. Oops, too much. Like this. So we have here book value of the machine, which is equal to 157,000, right? That's our book value. Make it bigger so you can see it. Like here. And then format everything here. Now that we have the remaining useful life, which is 4 years. What else we have? The cost of the new machine, which the cost of the new machine is 245,000. And useful life of 4 years, okay, with no salvage value. The new machine is available cost to forever. This machine will have 4 years useful life with no salvage value. The new machine will lower the annual variable cost from that much to that much. So the old cost and the new cost, current cost, variable manufacturing cost is 594,123, and the future variable cost will be 507,123. Now, how much is the difference or
87,000.
savings? This machine is going to give a savings of this one minus that one. $87,000 per year, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Now the question is, do we have a salvage value of the older machine? No,
No.
right? No salvage value of the old machine. Now the question is that savings over the 4 years enough to cover the cost of the new machine? Correct? That's where the decision is. If this savings over 4 years is high enough to cover the cost of the new machine. If it's not, no. If it's yes, then go for it. So let's pretend we keep the old machine. What do we have to pay? We have to pay current cost, correct?
Yes.
For how many years?
4.
For 4 years. So that will be equal to the current variable cost times 4 years. This is the cost that we have to pay, correct?
Yes.
Regardless if you like it or not, you still have to pay it. Now, if we replace the machine, what's going to happen? Obviously, our cost is going to be less. This will be this one times 4. That's how much we have to pay. But what else? We have to also have to pay for the new machine. Correct? Are you guys with me?
Yes.
Yes, Professor.
Yes, Professor.
So how much will be my total here that I have to pay? I have to pay in total that much. Here, I have to pay that much. What should I do? Should I replace it?
Here's the old machine.
Obviously, it will be better if we replace the older machine rather than keep. If we keep the old machine, we have to pay that much. If we replace it, our cost will be that. Plus, that will be the variable cost plus the cost of the machine. Our total cost will be that much. How much will be the savings that we're gonna generate? Are we gonna have increase in the income or a reduction in the income? What will be that? Let's see from the income point of view. The cost saving, is it gonna give us increase in income or reduction of the income?
Increase in the income.
When you save on the cost, is that gonna increase your income or reduce the income?
Increase.
Increase. So this one will be equal to this line minus that line. So our income increased with 348,000, correct? Does that make sense? Yes or no? Are you guys with me?
So your
Yes,
screen
sir.
is not
Sorry?
So your screen is not visible.
visible.
Oh,
Yeah.
my screen is also. Okay, just a second, let me share it. No, this one. My screen disappeared, huh? Oh, where is my screen? Where did I lost it? Yeah, I found it. Let me share it with you now. There are so many screens now, I'm lost which one. This one should be the one. Is it okay? Can you guys see it now?
Yes, Professor.
Okay, so what happened here? If I generate cost savings, that's going to increase my income. And we're generating cost saving. Next one is now we have to pay for the new machine, which going to decrease our income. Our overall effect should be
Net
103,
saving.
right? How you going to get it? You going to get it this total minus this total or this minus this should be the same amount, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So what we doing? Replacing or keeping?
Replacing.
Replacing.
Replacing
Place
it.
the old.
Unless you don't want $103,000. If you don't want $103,000, keep it. Okay, let's go with let me see another question. So what's happening here? This company manufactured golf clubs, 3 models. For the year, one of the club has a net loss of $7,600 from sales of 200, variable cost 180, fixed cost 3760. If this company eliminate, if this line is eliminated, 9,100 fixed costs will stay. So let's see what's going to happen and what's not going to happen first. Let's pretend that we continue to doing what we're doing. If we continue to doing what we're doing, what's happening now? Tell me, pretend that keep doing what we're doing. How much will be my sales?
200,000.
200,000. That would be my sales, 200,000. How much will be my variable cost?
180.
180,000.
180,000,
100,000.
right? How much will be my contribution margin?
Sales minus
20,000
cost,
20,000.
plus minus next.
200.
This one
200.
minus this one, it's gonna be 20,000.
Yeah.
How much my fixed cost?
37,600.
37,600.
37,600. Okay. How much my net income?
Negative 17,600.
This one minus that one, right?
Yes.
17,600. That's how much they're losing.
Yeah.
Correct? Now, this division gone. How much will be my sales?
0.
0. How much will be my variable cost?
0.
0.
0.
How much my contribution margin?
0.
Yeah, 0.
0 plus 0 should give me 0, right? 0 minus 0 gives 0. How much will be my fixed cost?
19,100.
1900.
So let's see now. Hold on a second. If 19,000 is eliminated, now will remain. So my fixed cost will be $19,100. So how much will be my income?
Minus 19,100.
This one minus that one, right?
Yeah.
On which scenario I'm losing less
By continuing.
Eliminate.
by continue? Should I eliminate it?
Yes.
Again, on which scenario I'm losing less?
Continue.
Continue.
Continue. Should I eliminate it?
No.
No.
No. Why? Because if I eliminate it,
Then I pay more.
I'm gonna lose additional, how much is that? $1,500,
Mm-hmm.
right? Can you see it?
Yeah.
Okay. So how is gonna be this? First, let's think about how we're gonna do this one. This one will be equal. If I eliminate it, what's gonna happen with the income? My income is gonna decrease, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
If I eliminate it, I'm gonna save. How much I'm gonna save? Make sense? This is my
Mhm.
saving. I'm saving those money. So, but contribution margin, where I'm gonna be on the contribution margin? Oh, I'm losing my contribution. So this one will be, sorry, that will be different. That will be plus here. I'm losing $20,000 on the contribution margin. Can you see it?
Yes.
Yes.
On the fixed cost, if I eliminate it, how much of the fixed cost I'm eliminating?
Solution.
Sorry, no, I'm eliminating only this one, right? I'm eliminating 80,500. That's my saving. So on the income, where am I? Am I saving or losing? Are you guys with me?
Yes, Professor.
Yes.
So if I eliminate it, what's going to happen?
The net income will decrease.
Going to go down with how much?
1500.
1,500.
1,500. Can you see it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you understand that why it's going down?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's move to the next one then. So this question, this company produces some product. Each product has $12 variable cost and $9 of fixed cost and sells for $45. So let's quickly get what's happening here. I'm gonna use this template here. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Yes, Professor.
So what's my sales price?
45.
45. How much my variable cost?
9,
12.
12.
Variable cost, 12.
12.
33 contribution margin. How much my fixed cost?
9.
9.
9.
9. That's a very kind of questionable, but per unit, let's say it's 9. Because remember, fixed cost per unit goes down when we're producing more units.
Okay.
Right? So the fixed cost per unit is not a stable number. Just keep it in mind. Now the wholesaler comes and say, hey, can you produce me how many units they want?
9760.
760. They want that many units. The question is, can we produce them? How much they paying per unit?
14.
$14. Now, what was the decision here? Now they wanted sales price. They're gonna pay us $14. Let's forget about those one. No contribution margin for more needed. If I have to produce those 9,760, am I gonna have a variable cost? Am I gonna have this cost?
It's gonna
Yeah.
increase.
No. Am I gonna have that cost per unit?
Yeah.
Yes,
Yes.
The variable cost. They
right? Because I have to
$12.
produce my product, right? That's my variable cost. I have to make it. So I have to get, I'm gonna get those $12. So far I have $2 contribution margin on the $14. They pay me $14. I have to produce the products, which cost me $12 per product. I'm generating $2. What else I have to pay?
Shipping costs.
Shipping cost.
Shipping. How much shipping I have to pay?
125.
1.25.
Mm,
So, am I generating anything per unit?
$0.75.
After I produce my product and after I pay $1.25 shipping cost, am I generating something?
Yes.
That will be
Yes.
contribution margin after the shipping. Am I generating? I'm generating 75 cents,
Yes, Professor.
right? But this is for 1 unit. In total, how much will be?
19760.
9760 times
0.75.
0.75.
0.75. So what's going to happen with my income? What will be my income?
73.20.
10,000
Higher,
people higher.
correct? Now the question is, do you want $7,320?
Yes.
It's up to you. If you want it, make it, sell it at $40, charge this customer, this client's $14, pay the shipping cost, and get the $7,300 and have a nice Christmas, right?
Yes.
That's where it is. If you don't want it, then don't. So what's happened here with this question? We have this company happen to have $34 per unit cost, 19 a variable to make a product number. So how much is the selling price per product?
$30.
No. Original, on the original scenario, how much is the cost? How much we selling on normal price?
No.
57.
57. What's our variable cost?
19.
19.
19. What is my contribution margin?
38.
38. How much my fixed cost per unit?
34.
34 is the total cost of per unit. $19 a variable. How much left for the variable? For the $19 a variable, how much left for the fixed cost?
15.
15.20, 35. 15. Make sense? 57 minus 34, does it give you 23?
Yes.
Okay, so with 23. 57 we're selling, 34 is the total cost, 19 plus 15, 34. We generated 23 in the normal selling business of this product. We generating $23 income from this cost structure. So now the supplier comes and says, hey, can you sell me? How many we have to sell him?
5,000.
5,000. How much they want we to sell them those 5,000?
30.
$30. So we're gonna generate $30. Let's forget about this fixed cost. If we generate in $30, do I still have to pay variable cost?
Yes.
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 So I'm gonna generate $11 up to this point. But I'm gonna have additional cost of how much?
$1.
$1.
$1 to imprint the logo. So additional for logo, $1. How much now is my contribution margin, the new contribution margin?
10.
$10 per unit. Should I go for it?
Yes.
Yes. So let's see. If I'm generating 5,000, if I'm selling 5,000, how much will be my additional revenue? 30
50,000.
times
150.
okay, 150. Let's make it this one bigger so you can see it. 150. Cost. How much will be my additional cost? 19 plus 1, right?
Yeah.
Right. Okay, that will be equal to 5,000 times
100,000.
bracket 19 plus 1.
100,000.
100,000, that will be negative because it's a cost, right?
Yep.
Where we are?
3,000.
50,000. Make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So what will be the minimum price that selling price that we can go with? If the client comes and say, "Hey, can you sell me this for $22?" Are you gonna sell it?
Yes.
$22, you're still making 10,000. $21,
Yes.
$20.50.
Yes.
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 So where is the 50% of 57? If you're giving the Christmas sales 50%, where are you gonna be?
28.5.
This one divided by 2, right? 28.5.
28.5.
Can you give me another 20% on the Christmas sales?
Yes.
Hmm?
Yes.
Yes or no? If you give me another, let's say another, how much? 20% on the Christmas sales. So this is 50% discount. Can you give me another 20% on the 50%?
Yes.
How much will be the selling price now?
22.9.
It's gonna be equal to this one minus bracket this one time 20%. 22.8. Is that what you're getting?
Yes.
I think we are ready for Christmas. Are we not?
Yes, we are.
Can we get another with 25%?
Mm,
We can give them 25% decrease.
Yes.
Can I give him 30% on the Christmas? That would be too much.
No.
So the 25 is the maximum it can go. So can you see this? I can give you on the Christmas sale, I can give you 50%, and right before the new year, I can give you another 25. And I'm still making money.
yes.
And you're thinking you're making a good deal, right? Okay, that's with that question. Let's this ingenuity was evident of the improving design. One of the most important components of kayak, the seat. The revolution seat system is one of the kind rotating axis blah 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 blah, right? This is quickly adjustable. Now, having just designed this, now we're getting to the interesting part. Current design must now decide whether to produce the seed internally or buy them from the outsiders. That's where we are now. So what's the decision we have to make? Make it versus buy, right? That's our decision. Cost of the current is given. Direct material, direct labor, variable overhead, fixed overhead. Current design needs to produce 2,850 seats this year. 28 of the fixed costs will be avoided if the seats is purchased from the outside vendor. So let's flip this one because that's actually new information. Let's put it this way. So that will be more logic. Currently, we need to produce 2,850 seats. 28 of the fixed costs can be avoided. After soliciting prices from outsiders, company determined that if the cost, it will cost 54 to purchase the seat from the outside vendor. What do we have to do? Shall I make it or buy it? Before we do that, what do we need to do? Same thing that we did before. Let's get this calculation here. And let's move it right here on the side. I'm going to put it here on the side, but I'm going to extend it now. Before we get to the contribution margin, we need a lot of other things to implement, right? This is partially correct, but we need more. Not like that. No borders. No. So first, what we have? Let's see what information. We don't have a sales price, right? We don't care about sales. Here, we're not selling it. We're making it. What's our cost? What kind of cost we have?
Direct material,
Direct material. Okay, how much the direct material?
$20
$20.
unit.
$20. Then we have
Direct labor,
direct labor. How much direct labor?
17.
17. Then what we have?
Variable overhead,
Variable overhead,
Is $14.
which is
13.
$13. And then we have fixed overhead,
That's the
right?
fixed overhead. The fixed
How
cost.
much is that?
20.
20 bucks.
20,000.
So
So
those two will disappear. How
30,000.
much my total cost?
Fixed overhead is 20,000 overall.
Overall is 70,000, correct? Right at this point, I have to pay $70. It cost me $70, correct?
No, professor.
Now,
Fixed
up to
overhead is
so hold it.
20,000
No,
overall.
sorry.
That's not on unit.
The 20,000.
Fixed overhead is
Oh,
20,000.
yes. Okay. Fixed cost. Yeah, I see it. Okay. So the fixed cost. How much is the 20,000? But how many units I'm producing? Does it say how many units we produce?
No.
Let me see the question.
2850. 2850 units.
All right. We need to produce 2850, so units.
Yeah.
2,850 units. So how much my fixed cost per unit then? Is that what you're getting?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Are you with me, guys?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this is what we're getting. Now, if we eliminate it, what's going to happen? How much is my actual cost? If I eliminate it, this one's going to go down with 28%, right?
Yeah.
Fixed overhead is going to go down with 28%. How much will be my new fixed cost? It's going to be equal to 20,000
Minus 20,000
minus
up.
20,000 times 0.28, correct?
0.28, yeah. Yeah.
So my variable fixed overhead cost gonna go 505, right?
Yeah.
So let's see now. Am I generating? Is it cost me more to produce it than purchase it? Can you see it?
Yes, Professor.
So let's go and put the number here now. Let's start doing the numbers. Now we have the numbers. First, what we're gonna do? Direct material, right? Then we have direct labor. Then we have the variable overhead. Then we have fixed overhead.
It's overhead.
And then we have purchase price. We have to purchase it, right? If we make it, how much we have to pay? How many units we making?
2850.
2,850 units. Let me increase those numbers because I cannot even see those numbers now. Like this. So I'm making it per unit. Here is per unit is 20, 17, 13, and we
14.
already established 702. Correct? How much will be in total? In total will be this one time that one.
7,000. 57,000.
57,000. Okay, let's make those one because I hate these numbers. 57,000. Then we're gonna have next one will be 17 time this one will be
46,450.
that one. Then we're gonna have this one time that one, and the next one fixed cost will be 20,000, right?
Yes.
It should be 20,000. Let's see if that's correct. 20,000. So 20, 1, 2, 3. So how much my total cost? If I make it. 162,500, correct?
Yes.
Let's start buying it. If I buy it, do we have to pay for direct material?
0.
0. But 0 time, so this, if I buy it, I don't have to pay here nothing. I don't have to pay here nothing. I don't have the variable cost. Do I have to pay fixed overhead? If I'm buying it, how much of the fixed overhead is gonna stay with me? I can avoid 28%. How much is gonna stay with me? 62, right? 62, no, 72%. 72% is gonna stay with me. Make sense?
Yeah.
So how much will be that?
14,400.
14,400 stays with me. And on top of that, I have to buy it, right? How much I'm paying? $54 per unit. Will be 54 time number of units. This one will be 0, all those will be zeros, correct? How much will be my total cost if I have to buy it? No, actually, can be avoided. The other one will gonna stay. Make sense? Are you guys with me?
Yes, Professor.
So what's gonna happen with my income if I make it? No, if I decide to buy it, what's gonna happen with
We'll
my
have a
income?
loss.
I can save this one, right? I'm saving 57. Then I'm gonna save 48. Then I'm gonna save 37. Then I'm gonna save only 5,600, correct?
Correct.
But I have to buy it. So in total, where am I? Saving or losing?
Losing.
Losing. Why here we come, looks like we are saving. So we don't doing here something correct. So this one will be less for us. Correct? On the fixed cost, we are not correct here. Our fixed cost is only 28%. 72% is our saving. That should be the calculation here. And then we're comparing 5196 times 54. And that should be transferred to that number. Make sense?
Mhm.
So within this scenario, we're losing money, clearly.
So we are making it by ourselves.
Right? So now the question is, can we use this capacity? Well, if they use the capacity, which is the next part of the question, so with the answer part, they change to the positive is productive capacity release by not making seeds could be used to produce income of $19,000. So if we generate this $19,000 income, is that going to be enough to overcome this loss? Obviously, it will be, correct? Make sense?
Yes.
So at this point, we're losing. Let's do the calculation. At this point, we're losing it, clearly. But if we make it, sorry, if we make it, yes, we're gonna lose the opportunity. That will be our opportunity cost. How much is the opportunity cost here for us?
19,000.
19,000. Make sense? And if we put it in that perspective, now we're losing another. So that's not gonna be that one. That's gonna be equal to this one minus that one. But if we put the opportunity cost, now we're generating 19,000, correct?
Yes.
So now in total, where we are? To make it is gonna cost us 81,500. To buy it's gonna cost us 68,300. And in overall, we're gonna generate
14 to 13 to
$13,200. So in this case, should I make it or buy it?
Buy it.
Buy it and
Yeah.
generate those $19,000 income. Make sense?
Yes.
Yes.
And that's your question. Questions now. Sorry, I keep you longer than I expected.